ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यां तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
मदनुग्रहाय
परमम् गुह्यमध्यात्मसंज्ञितम्
यत्त्वयोक्तं
वचस्तेन
मोहोऽयं विगतो मम
मोहोऽयं विगतो मम
भवाप्ययौ हि
भावाप्ययौ हि भूतानां
श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया
श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया
त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्ष
त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्ष
माहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम्
माहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम्
एवमेतद्यथा तत्त्वम् एवमेतद्यथार्थत्वम्
एवमेतद्यथार्थत्वम्
आत्मानं परमेश्वर
आत्मानं परमेश्वर
द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम्
द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम्
ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम
ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम
मनसे यदि तच्छक्यं मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यम्
मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यम्
मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो
मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो
योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वम्
योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वम्
दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्।
दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्। धन्यवाद।
So this chapter number 11 starts with Arjuna's observations and a request. Observations, Shlokas 1 and 2. He's summarizing the Prathama Shatka in Shloka number 1 by using just one word called Atma, Atma Sangeetam. We saw that. The second shloka, which we are going to study today, is where he is summarizing the chapters 7 through 10. Okay. So let's look at that. He's addressing Krishna as Kamala Patraksha. So far, see, Arjuna has been addressing Krishna as Krishna, and some other words is used. Harisudana, all these words he is used. You're the destroyer of enemies of dharma. All that is used. But Kamala Patraksha, very interesting, right? So it's describing the physical beauty of Krishna, which is an indication of the inner beauty. Okay, that's the way we look at it. Because external physical beauty alone is of not any use to the person. The person who is beautiful also not that useful. Unless the person uses it properly, then it can be used. Okay. But here, look at this. Kamala Patraksha. Kamala, Padma, Kamalam. Okay. Padma, lotus. Lotus is always used in all these words. Whenever the beauty has to be expressed. Kamalam. And then Patra. Patra means, Patra literally means leaf. Literally means leaf. And Aksha. Aksha is eyes. Akhin. Nakaranta. Napumsakam. Okay. So Akshi. So that's why Nalinakshi. Okay. Like that we have some names, right? So Kamalasya Patram Iva Akshi Yasya Saha. Okay. The one whose eyes are like the petal, not leaf, petal of the lotus. Petal, if it is leaf means then that's the problem. So because lotus leaf is big. So that kind of big eyes, it won't look good. Okay. So it has to be like the beautiful shape of the lotus leaf. Like that it should go. Nice, oblong, nice shape. And so constantly we hear it throughout. Whichever you see Lalita Sahasranamam, you take anything, you'll find this. And so Padma, Patra, Netra, okay, Aksha here, Netra. Namostu te Vyasa Vishala Buddhe, Kullara Vinda Yata Patra Netra. Long ago we studied all these things. Some of you may have forgotten. But that's because this Dhyana Shloka we are abbreviated. So it is still here only, this class only we studied some 3 years ago. So Pullara with Aravinda Kamala Ayata Patra Netra Patra Aksha. Same thing. So that Aravinda comes. Aravinda is Kamalam, lotus. So in Sanskrit, there's the beauty. You can just mix words. Synonyms you can mix and come up with the same word. Words which mean the same thing. Okay? So, Neeraja Patra Netra, you can say, you can write your own poem and say Neeraja Patra Netra, Jalaja Patra Netra, Jalaja Netrakshi, or Jalaja Patrakshi, sorry. There's a friend who called his daughter as Varija. Varija. Varin means water. Another name for water. Jalam. Jalam is Vari. Look up your dictionary. So Varija, Neeraja, same Jalaja, same meanings. Identical meanings. You can, new names people want, you can create like that. So, Hey Kamala Patraksha, one whose eyes are the shape of the lotus leaf, and therefore beautiful. And why your eyes are beautiful, I should say? Because what you're saying is also, what's coming out of your mouth also is beautiful. That is why. That's why now I can describe you as a beautiful person. Okay, Kamala Patraksha. The main sentence here is Bhavapyayo Shrutau. You want to underline, that's it. That is the two main words in this shloka. Bhavapyayo Shrutau. Shrutau is the verb. Shrutau, heard. Heard. So he's going to say Maya. So Shrutau, Maya Shrutau. It was heard by me. Two things were heard by me. Shrutau in Sanskrit is jewel, and therefore immediately two things have been heard by me. So without saying what, already Shrutau, two things have been heard by me. What are those two things? Bhava Pyayo. Bhava and Apyaya have been heard by me. Okay? So we need to understand. Not difficult. Bhava. Bhava is what? Srishti. Coming into being. So, Srishti. And then what? Apyaya means laya, pralaya, pralaya, dissolution. Creation, loosely called creation, Srishti, and laya have been heard by me. Sthiti did not spend that much time on Sthiti, Krishna. And even if he did spend, you have to add the minutes, Srishti and laya are added. You have to in between put Sthiti in between because there is no laya without Sthiti. And therefore, it is obvious. So, Srishti, Sthiti, Layaha, Shrutaha, Maya. That is the meaning, right? So this is constantly you get Sargastiti Laya Karana Karana Umapate Shiva Shankara Shankara. Like this, you will hear constantly in every bhajan you will have this. Shiva bhajan you will have Sargastiti Laya you will have. Vishnu also might have all these things. Okay? So we know that. We know that the wave is created by the ocean. The wave came out of the ocean. Did the ocean come first or wave come first, if I ask? The wave's date of birth is few seconds ago. Ocean has been there before that. So there we should not have any doubt about that. The ocean caused the srishti of the wave, and ocean sustains the wave also. And into the ocean, the wave resolves. Or you can say water. Water sustains the ocean also. The ocean becomes Ishvara and water becomes Brahma. Ishvara also, the minute you say creation, you have to give a form because Brahma cannot create. Brahma is Nirgunam, so cannot create. Okay, but Ishvaratam has to be given to Brahma. Then creation, Sargasthiti, Laya, etc. can happen, right? So we know all these things. So, and already Krishna mentioned that Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha. Okay, etc. Visa. Matta Sarvam Pravartate. So, 7th chapter itself, he started out. This one was 10th chapter, I think. But repeated what was said in the 7th chapter. Okay? So, Bhavapyayo Shrutau. Shrishti Sthiti Layaha Shrutaha. That is the way to look at that. Okay. Whose creation? He Bhutana. In he of the Bhutas. Of the Bhutas. Often this word Bhuta is used. It can refer to Panchabhuta, which means the entire world of living and non-living. Swamiji says, Chara Charatmakam Jagat. The world which has moving and non-moving things, which means the entire world. Moving means need not be living. Living is moving, but moving need not be living. Why? Which one is moving that's not living? Is there anything that moves that doesn't live?
Air.
Huh?
Clouds.
Air. Look at that. Air is it. What else?
Clouds.
Clouds. What else?
Water also moves.
Water moves, yes.
Water.
What else? What else?
Earth is moving.
Prithvi is moving. All planets are moving. They say there's no life yet in moon. In moon, they say there's no life yet. Because if life was there, they would have told us, I think. And so it would have been front page news. That means moon, nothing, kuch nahi hai wahan. Therefore, moon also is doing this. So definitely. So charatmakam jagat charatmakam. Okay. Then, so yeah. Atmabodha, Shankaracharya says a beautiful shloka. Upadane khila dare jaganti parameshware. He says, Jaganti. See, often we use the word jagat, jagat, jagat. Suppose I ask you, what is the plural of the word jagat? Jagat is world. Suppose I say worlds. So in Sanskrit, it is jaganti. Jaganti. It appears like a verb, but it's actually a noun, right? Jaganti. Jagat, Jagati, Jaganti. That is how it works. Anyway, so Jaganti, Upadane Khiladare, Jaganti Parameshwara, Sarga Sthiti Layan Yanti, Budbudani Varini. This Jaganti, all these worlds, Sarga Sthiti Layan Yanti. They gain all the status of created and then being sustained and then dissolved. Okay. And where is it? Parameshware, Upadane, Akhiladhaya. Parameshware, obviously in Ishvara, created by Parameshwara. And Upadane, Shankaracharya, is Upadane. Look at that. So more we learn Vedanta, the more we begin to understand this. Upadane, Upadana Karane means what? Hey, that Karanam, that Nimitta Karanam, which is also very much right there in front of you also. Upadane Karane. Correct? Sargasthiti Layan Yanti, Budbudani Iva Bharani. Iva, he says, I'm going to give you an example. Budbudani Iva Bharani. Just like the bubbles come in the ocean. Okay, Varini, Vari, look at that word Vari. Or in water. Okay? Just like in the water you see bubbles. Like that, these worlds just appear. Appear and disappear. Appear and disappear. Okay. So who's the author of the idea of different worlds, different universes, and coming and going? If scientists ask, what should we say? In a conference, if somebody says this, I will accept it. But I'll also say you should look into Atmabodha written states, 1,400 years. I'll say that. Which also came from Upanishads. We have to say that. Anyway, like this, Hi Bhuta, correct? And so the entire, all these galaxies and all that, like bubbles, they come and then they go, all that going on. So, Shruta, this kind of Bhutanam Bhavapyayo Shruta. Kena Shruta, by whom heard? Maya. Maya Shruta. Okay. And then, how did I hear? Vistarasha. Vistarasho. Arjuna says, elaborately. I've heard it elaborately. So he's saying, I don't know if he means you're talking too much or not, but he's saying, yeah, I've heard you elaborate. Okay. Because it looks like Arjuna knows the Upanishads. Upanishads are not this elaborate. They're not patient about all these things. Huh? Tasmad, creation. Tell me about creation. Yes, I'll tell you. Listen. Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta. From Atma Akasha came Akashad Vayu. From Akasha Vayu came Vayu Agni. From Vayu Agni came Agnerapaha. From Agni water came Apa. Adhyaf Prithvi. From water this next guna has come. The guna of this Gandha guna. Therefore Prithvi, Prithivya, Oshadhayaha. Then all the plants and other living beings came. Oshadhi, Vyonnam. Then food came. Then what? Anna, Purushaha. Then from that living beings, the human being came. Over. Creation is over. Did you get it? And then the Upanishad moves on after that. It doesn't spend any time on this. It doesn't spend any time on this. So, in fact, we don't talk much about creation. We assume creation and move on. Creation is there, no doubt. But Upadane, that we have to remember. That is why we need Upanishads. Everything else you guys figure out. We are all scientists, figure out, it says. how it happened, is it evolution, whether it is Darwin should get Nobel Prize or some Indian should get Nobel Prize, all that you figure out. Okay. But then this is creation now. But you understand Upadana Karanam and Nimitta Karanam or not. That is what Upanishad is concerned about. So, but he's saying here, Vistarasho Maya. Okay. And sometimes our Swamijis would say, Upanishad is for Uttamadhikari. Bhagavad Gita is for Madhyamadhikari. Means what? Dhikari means prepared person. But we're all not prepared. We are just hearing, we start listening, and then slowly our understanding improves, our interest improves, our priorities change, then further interest improves. So it's a gradual process. So Bhagavad Gita is good for those Madhyamadhikaris, those who have an appreciation, have Shraddha in the Shastra. But Upanishad to study, because it is cryptic, you have to be an Uttamadhikari. Once I've already studied Bhagavad Gita, that's the idea. But you're all Uttamadhikaris, okay? Don't get me wrong. You're not Madhyamadhikaris just because you're studying, because 3-4 years already over. And satsang, you're asking so many questions, I don't know, and I have to scratch my head also. So you're all given Uttamadhikaris, okay? So where did I hear this from? Tvattaha, from you. Tvattaha, from you. And then one more thing I heard. Mahatmyam api, he says. Mahatmyam api. Also Mahatmyam. Mahima. Mahima, Mahatmyam. Vibhutihi. I heard Vibhutis also. Your Vibhutis I heard. But your Vibhutis I heard means this is strange, because you go to any public talk and they're going to talk about Bhagavata. Okay? Going to talk Bhagavata. Bhagavata Purana. Krishna is there. Krishna's Mahatmyam, also they are also talking. They don't talk about Nimitta Karanam or Upadana Karanam. They talk about Kalinga Mardanam, Kamsa Charuna Mardanam. Kalinga Nrityam is there. Who in this world cannot be inspired by this young boy playing flute, simply not standing on a serpent and then playing flute also. Hey, this is absolutely crazy. And so how can anybody not be inspired? That is Mahatmya. That is Mahatmya. And like this, there is so much. Every story is, you listen to it again and again, same story. Same story. Suppose your neighbor comes and tells you his story to you. Oh, you don't know, long ago I told you, a fourth marriage. How long can you listen to the story, neighbor's story? You will begin to think, I think it's time for us to move out of this house. We should look for some better place. Well, better place also, you'll have a neighbor. So you can't go to a place where there's no neighbor. But you can't hear to the same story again and again. But Yahampartho, it's not like Mahatmyam constantly, you Dhruva story, you hear, and then you will shed tears the way Dhruva experienced that pain. If you want to experience that pain of the boy, then you can't stand it. That's how it is. And but here, this Mahatmyam is not like that. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Matta sarvam pravartate. Rasohamapsu kaunteya. Prabhasmi sashishuryayo. What is the connection between Kalinga Mardanam and these slokas? Kalinga Mardanam, etc. is Eka Rupa Vibhuti. They are all Vibhutis of Avatara, of Krishna Avatara. That is the Vibhuti that he's been talking about, which is, of course, beautiful, wonderful. Eka Rupa Vibhuti. And which is all Vyayam. Vyayam means what? Being finite. It's limited. You can keep talking about Krishna again and again and again. But there's only so much you can talk about Krishna. And suppose by mistake somebody like me comes and talks about Krishna and Shiva also at the same time, then people will get upset in the audience. Oh, this guy is crazy, He's talking about Shiva and Krishna in the same breath. And he's neither this fellow nor that fellow. He's combining everything together. Be careful, okay? They will say all these things. So limited, only limited. You have to move around in a limited area. And so Vyayam, Swami Paramathananda says, Vyayam, Eka Rupa is Vyayam. That's why here Krishna, Arjuna is saying, Cha Avyayam. Cha Avyayam. Mahatmyam api Avyayam. Avyayam means what? Inexhaustible. Here Avyaya you should not bring in Atma, etc. Avyayam. Inexhaustible glories. Mahatmyam, that is just inexhaustible. Why inexhaustible? Because that's how it is. The entire Jagat is inexhaustible. So, and Krishna also said, Nantosti mama divyanam. Somewhere he said it. Nantosti mama divyanam. Vibhutinam parantapa. Recently he must have said it. After the end of the 10th chapter, I think he said that. I think it's time for me to, it's already dinner time. I think we need to.
40.
Yeah, 40. Nantosti, correct. 40. Udeshataha. Only sample I gave you. That's what he said. So, na antaha asti. That. Same thing here. Avyayam. Shankaracharya says in the commentary, Akshayam. Same meaning, right? Avyayam, Akshayam. Okay? And so the stories have a message. They have a message. But most of these public talks, they won't talk about the actual message. They won't talk because the actual message is not interesting. Just this picturesque presentation of the Balakrishna is beautiful. Beyond that, you say, I am time, kalos, biham, and all. If you say, it becomes too boring. Public mein to chalta nahi hai. And only a few people who can appreciate it, they can handle it. And so, therefore, all this Prahlada and all, just, break the pillar and pieces, thousands of pieces flying all over. And light is shining. Out comes Narasimha, and then comes like this, and everybody is watching. And if you, and then that's what is inspired. But you tell them, hey, this is exactly Upadana Karanatvam of Ishvara, my dear friend. If you say, the ready mind will catch on to it. They say, yeah, that is what it is. Upadana Karanam. That is why Bhagavan is Tunuliyum Virpan, Turumuliyum Virpan. He's there in the pillar and he's there in the small blade of grass also. Okay, small particle of dust also he's there. That's the beauty. So that's why our Puranas are not ordinary. Vyasa wrote Purana. Vyasa wrote Bhagavad Gita. So you can imagine. He must have decided, you know what, I'm going to play a game. Bhagavad Gita is there, but only some people can handle it. But Purana, I'm going to just elaborate. I'm going to go and write stories after stories. And nobody can figure out the connection between the Purana and Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishad. Only some people can figure out the connection. I'm going to watch them. Fun. Okay, I think he must have decided something like that. So, okay. And what is the proof that that Arjuna heard all this? Bhavapyayo, Shruto, and Vistaraso, etc. And what is the proof that Arjuna understood all these things? Okay, you shouldn't look too far. You just have to go one shloka before. Okay? One shloka before, which we did last week, which it's a while ago, right? So I'll repeat it for your benefit. Mohoyam vigato mama, like that he says. Mama mohaha, my delusion is vigataha. He's using a strong word. He's saying, he's saying I'm not confused at all. My confusion is gone, he says. Which is partially definitely gone. And because only later on he says, Nashto mohaha. Nashto mohaha smritir labdha. He's going to say that later. And so, that's the gist of this shloka. Tattaha kamalapatraksha mahatmyamapi cha avyayam. So, not only you heard the Srishti and Sthiti, Srishti and Laya, that you being the cause of that. Those two I heard. And then Mahatmyam api. Your vibhutis also I heard. So that upadana karanatvam, that you are in this world. And that I didn't know when I heard those stories before. Now I know what it is. And so Mahatmyam api cha abhyayam. So all the vibhutis also I heard from you. That's what he's saying. Let's look at the translation. O Krishna, indeed, the origin and dissolution of beings as well as your inexhaustible glories or glory, as well as your inexhaustible glory, were heard by me, were heard by me from you in detail. O Krishna, indeed the origin and dissolution of beings, as well as your within brackets, your inexhaustible glory, were heard by me from you in detail. Okay, go to the second. Good shloka.
Could you, excuse me,
Hmm.
could you explain the avyayam again, please?
Yeah, Avyayam, Shankaracharya says Akshayam. Akshayam means inexhaustible. The vibhutis is endless. There is no end to. Okay, so hope I'm audible now. Huh? Okay, am I audible? Yeah, audible. Okay. Power cut here. All right. So, Avyayam means inexhaustible. Okay, that's the meaning of Avyayam. Now, it has not Sachidananda Atma is Avyayam, etc. No, not that kind of, not that meaning. Not that meaning. Just the quantity. Expresses a quantity which is limitless, which has no end. Because Jagat, any aspect you can just take one object is enough. That object itself, the glory of the object, description of the object also is inexhaustible. That is the way to take it. Let's chant the next one. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Satyaji. Evametadyathāthatvam.
एवमेत त्वधा त्वधात्वम्
Evametat
एवमेतत्
yathathatvam
यथार्थत्वम्
atmanam parameshwaram
आत्मानं परमेश्वर
drashtumichhami te rupam
दृष्टमिच्छामि ते रूपम्
aishwaram purushottama.
ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम.
Okay. So here Arjuna is adding two more words addressing Krishna. Okay? What words? Parameshwara and Purushottama. Two words is used. Parameshwara, I don't think is used before, as I can't recall. Purushottama, he may have used, not sure. Later on, it's going to come. Purushottama Yoga is coming in the 15th chapter. And so, interesting. He's beginning to use words which are more and more descriptive of Krishna, this whole teaching, Atma Swarupa, Ishvara Swarupa, etc., is coming slowly. And so, Parameshwara, Paramascha, Ishvarascha, so Parameshwaraha. So, Ishvaraha is the is the is Bhagavan, the Almighty, etc., Sarva Shaktiman, and Paramaha, the greatest. Sometimes they translate this word as Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord means what? The one who does not have anybody who can control that person. That person is called Parameshwara, Niyanta. And means what? Means again back to Sarga Sthiti Laya Karanam. Yeah. So, Nimitta Upadana Karanam. That is a way to understand these things. And because whatever exists only can manifest as the creation. Yes, therefore it cannot be Mithya, it has to be Satyam. So therefore Parameshwara and then Purushottama. Okay. And then Purushottama, again similar meaning. Purushascha, Tamascha, Purushottama or Karmadharaya, Tamaha Purushaha Purushottama. So again, the greatest Ishvara, the Ishvara which cannot be lorded over by somebody else or something else. Because that question will always arise. Hey, if Ishvara controls me, then who controls Ishvara? There must be somebody who controls. Has to be very obvious. It's almost very obvious actually. Therefore, correct. In the world of Mithya, that is obvious. But when it comes to Satyam, therefore, when Parameshwara is equal to Satyam, if you say, then Satyam is what controls Mithya. Mithya cannot control Satyam. Correct? Mithya depends on Satyam. Satyam cannot depend on Mithya. Therefore, Parameshwara is Satya Vastu. Therefore, there can't be any controller. Therefore, Parameshwara, Purushottama, etc. Okay? So, Nirgunam Brahma. That is the final meaning of all this. Okay? And then, this is also very interesting. I don't know if you noticed it. Parameshwara generally refers to Shiva. Purushottama refers to somebody called Vishnu. And how can these two words be there in the same shloka? How dare Krishna say Vyasa made Arjuna refer to Krishna as Parameshwara. Oh, it is Apashakunam. That should not have happened. Or I have don't study Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday I went to a talk. Rukminiji was also there. So, I mean, you should know all these things. So I'm saying, I say all this for understanding. And I have a lot of fun doing all this. And he's our Guruji. Long ago, before Dayanandaji came into my life, Guruji was there. And he's such a great Vedanta teacher. Okay? And Muralidhara Swamigal, okay, that's his name. Muralidhara Swami. And he was a great Vedanta teacher. Then what happened? He switched the whole thing after some 10 years or so. He switched completely. And he is very well known for this Rama Sankirtan. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So like that. Hare Krishna, Hare. And they have a Mahamantra. Very important, very good, very nice. I like that. But quietly he said something yesterday that Upanishad is for Ajnanis. You're all better off. And so you must study Bhagavatam. So like that, something quietly introduced. I met him. When he came out of the stage, I ran to the stage because I haven't seen him in a long time. I did namaskar to him. So he spoke just 3-4 sentences we spoke. And that time I would have said, Guruji, this is not fair for you to say. Now, if I had a private time, I would do that. Then I get some privacy. I wish you had not said that because it implies that people will go away with the feeling that you should not study Bhagavad Gita. He used the word Bhagavad Gita. He said that also. He said something like, something he said, I'm not able to recall. But he said, therefore, Bhagavad, therefore, Nama Japam. That's all you have to do. Nama Japam is enough. That's what he said. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, he's my guru. But so here, Vyasa is playing game, putting Parameshwara and Purushottama in the same shloka. And I think he's saying, guys, figure out. As long don't keep fighting between you and me and all that, Shiva, Shaivas and Vaishnavas. So there must be, both are vibhutis, and therefore he must have intended that. Evam yetad yatha atha. So, yeah, bit confusing kind of word. Atha and all we've not heard before. Okay. Atha means said. Said. You said atha. Tvam is you. You said. Okay. Yatha tvam atha, just as you have said. Okay. Just as you have said, evam etad. It is how it is. This world is exactly as you have said. Means what? Krishna is saying what you said is right. I mean, sorry, Arjuna is telling Krishna, what you said is right. And as though Krishna needs some, check mark, validation. And so what you said is right. Means what? See, when we talk, when in conversations, somebody is telling about their trip, or somebody is telling about the politics, or somebody is telling about some virus, this, that, etc. You don't know anything about it. Then you say, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right means what? You don't know anything. How can you tell him that whether it is right or wrong? You can't say. That's right means you have understood it. You have processed it. That's how it must be. Correct. Logical. I can understand everything. I understood everything you said. Yeah, that's correct. You're not telling what you're not judging the person. You're saying, I got it. You're saying, I got it. When you say that's right, you're saying, I got it. That's the meaning. Same thing here also. This world is exactly as you have described it to be. Hey Krishna means what? Doesn't mean, hey Krishna, you've been not there in this world. I've been there in this world for a while. And so let's talk, let's have a dining table discussion, dinner discussion. No, not that. So what you taught, the things are exactly like that. Means that I'm now able to understand. Previously it was all magical, but now that thanks to everybody knows Nimitta Karanam. Everybody in the world knows about this Nimitta Karanatvam of Ishvara, correct? God is the creator of this world. So there's no human being who doesn't know this. Guy who does not agree also has heard it. Unfortunately, he can't take that. Okay? But this is very true. He can't take it because because that guy is a thinker and one half is missing. He doesn't know that one half is missing. Okay? So, perfectly understandable. Evam etad yatha tattvam means what? It's perfectly understandable. What you said is very logical, that the world must be non-separate from you, from Ishvara, from Parameshwara. That's why he's using the word Parameshwara here, Purushottama. And then, but then he's now saying something else. Okay, everything is over. Game is over. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam should come now. Om Tatsati Iti should come. No, doesn't come. Why? He's saying, Drashtum ichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. He has one more request. But then, it is like we all tell in class, Swami, class is wonderful. I follow everything in class. But when I go home, but there's a very big but, But when I go home, things are not like what you say it is. Things are not like that. That means what? What happened in the class? Some stories, some fancy fairy tales and all is going on. Fairy tale is like that, So, like that here, our man is telling. But then, drashtu vichami te rupam aishwaram. See, this joy you're talking about, it's correct. I understand it must be like that. But, life is not like that. It's not like that. And so that's he's indicating that. Okay. There is a big difference between what I know and what I am. What you've taught me about Atma, I know. But then what I am, what I take myself to be is different. It's different. And so, how can tell me something without using the word harmonize? Tell me, bring these two disparate visions together. I want them to be together. I know it's true. What you're saying is truth, but it has to somehow manifest in my life. It's not yet manifest. It's like an island right here, right now. Right? An island. That's a common feeling everybody has. And so therefore here he's saying, Drashtu vichhami te rupam aishwaram rupam. Rupam. I want to see your form. Okay? I desire to see your form. Drashtu vichhami. And what kind of rupam? Aishwaram rupam. Vishwarupam. That form, if God had a form, tell me that form. We've been talking about Bhagavan all the time. I want to see. Now that you're teaching me, I want to see that form. I've seen all kinds of forms. Everything that I've seen. Even planets and all. Solar system, I can imagine. But I want to see that form. Aishwaram Rupam. And, in the heart of hearts, we know this to be true. You know why? Because our dharma is such that if we have grown up properly and if we are taught all the shlokas at the right time, Karagre Vasate Lakshmi onwards. The minute you open your eyes, you look at the fingers and say Karagre Vasate Lakshmi. Lakshmi is there on my fingertips. Which culture will talk like this? Lakshmi is in the fingertips. Karamadhya Saraswati. Saraswati is also there. Good. I need both because college fees, Saraswati cannot pay. Only Lakshmi can pay college fees. Over the table, I have to pay. Under the table, also, I have to pay. Okay, Lakshmi has to be 5 fingers. All Lakshmi, I have not one Lakshmi. All Lakshmi, I have to call. Then Saraswati, Karamadhye, Karumule Sthita Gauri, Prabhate Karadarshana. That's it. In the morning itself, my life starts like this. Then Saraswati Namastubhyam. Then I go take a shower. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati. Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. That Saraswati is different. Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalyasmin Sannidham Kuru. There you go. Bhagavan is there all over. Then I come have breakfast. Coffee or anything is idli, anything. Annapurne, Sadapurne. Don't think only big meal you have to say Annapurne. You can say by big glass of water also you can say Annapurne. Okay? Water. Without water, nothing happens in this world. So, like this, our drishti is already given to us. Already a child knows this. That's why a child, you ask Hindu child, where is God? This hand will come down like this. And God is here means God is everywhere. That's the meaning. And so, So there is no, that's why in our culture, this idea of secularism will not work. That word secular has no meaning, has no meaning in this culture. In fact, in Sanskrit, I don't know what is the word for secular. You have to say something like Nirishwaram or something you have to say. Because Nirishwaravadis are there. Okay? Yoga, Sankhya, Darshana, there is a Ishvara. Sa Ishvara Sankhya, Nirishwara Sankhya. Two Sankhyavadas. So like that, we have to invent some words. Okay. So therefore, there is no such division, and we are blessed with that vision that our rishis have given us. And so, therefore, Arjuna already knew it. It's just a matter of bringing it all together. And we all need a nimitta. We need a nimitta for it. Something has to happen to bring all these things together. And we don't know what that something is, how it's going to happen. So they say that is when the conflict arises, then the guru appears before the sishya, that they say. They use those words. And when how do I find a guru? The popular question. How do I find a guru? A beautiful answer Swami Tattvavidanandaji gave once in a satsang. He said, when you discover a shishya in you, the guru will appear. Guru will appear. That's the right answer. That's the right answer. And so, Chintanam, mind has to be ready. And as long as I'm thinking about these things and the conflicts are there, and I'm not going to just shove the conflict underneath and I allow it to be there, and then the guru will appear like that. They say those things. So, okay, that completes all the words of this shloka. So let's look at the translation. Yeah. This is just as you describe yourself. Okay, I did not explain the word Atmanam. Atmanam, that word I forgot, right? So Atman. Atmanam means yourself. Atmanam. Arjuna is telling Atmanam, referring to Sri Krishna. Yourself. You described yourself. Because this whole 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10 is about Bhagavan. So he's referring to that as Atmanam. Atha. You talked about yourself. That is Atman. Okay. So the translation will be, this is just as you describe yourself. This is just as you describe yourself. Full stop.
Guruji, you're muted.
Am I audible now? Hey Parameshwara, I desire to see, hey Bhagavan, I desire to see your divine form. This is just as you describe yourself. Full stop. Hey Bhagavan, I desire to see your divine form. Full stop. Okay. Let's chant the next one and conclude. Manyase yadi
मन्यसे यदि
तच्छक्यम्
तच्छक्यं
मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो
मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो
योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वम्
योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं
दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्
दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्
मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यम्
मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यं
मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो
मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो
योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वम्
योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं
दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्.
दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्.
Yeah. So he's going to tell that darshaya, that is a verb there, darshaya. Darshaya means show, show. Pashya means see. Both same dhatu, drish dhatu. And this is niche pratyaya, causal. So every verb in Sanskrit can be converted into a causal. So study is patha, 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 study. Pathaya, you add a particular suffix, and then that patha will become patha. Okay, that the a will become a, will get elongated. Then a ya will come. So pathaya will come. So the ya in a verb is an indication that there is a causal. Means patha is study. Pathaya means make me study. You create the study in me. That is the meaning. Pathaya. You teach. You study, you teach. Same root. Very beautiful, is it not? So, drishya root. Pashya means see. Darshaya means make me see. Means show. Make me see means show. You present to me. That's the meaning there. So, we will see. That's why the more you learn Sanskrit, the more these words will start speaking to you. Correct? Not only Krishna is speaking to you, the words also start speaking to you. Anyway, we'll conclude now and resume in the next class. So we'll be celebrating this one, our Shivaratri coming up on February 18th. And the 18th evening in India. So around that time, just like last year, we will celebrate and we will do a Abhisheka to Shiva. And I want to teach one particular Ashtottara Shatanamavali. So whenever we do puja, we do Shatanamavali is there, 108 names. And so this time, I want to use the opportunity to teach you. Last time we did Shiva Namavali. Okay. This time, Dakshinamurti Namavali I'll teach. Dakshinamurti is a important devata for us, for Vedanta students especially. So we will do that. Those who can join, please. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you.